Hey guys, I wanted to follow up on a comment that I made in my video on replacing the brake light switch on the Kia Spectra. So this is a 2008 Spectra, and the comment I made is that that electrical switch is actually responsible for the shift interlocks on getting out of park in an automatic transmission. So we're going to take a look at the brake pedal, and we're going to see what's happening when I'm able to shift. So you can see the full range of the brake pedal moving, and you can see when that brake switch is fully released. So I am not able to shift yet, and I'm pushing it down. I'm still not able to shift, and the point where I'm finally able to shift is right here. And as you can see, that brake light switch had already been fully released for a while, so it's not actually electrically controlled, but you can see that there is a cable on the end, and that cable is actually what's making it possible for you to shift out of park and into your rest of your gears. So I went ahead and I removed the center console, and it's just 6 Phillips head screws. There's 3 on each side. And you're going to have to slide your seat forward and back to be able to get to them. There's a couple wire harnesses on the bottom side on the charging port and the auxiliary input, but there's plenty of slack in the cables, so you can just leave them there. And then there's one piece of trim, and that just goes at the base of the e-brake handle right here, and that just pops out with a flat blade screwdriver. So the first thing I want to show you is that, pushing the button in on the shifter, if you remove the shifter and it's just 2 Phillips head screws on the back, there's nothing in the handle that prevents you from pushing that button. It's free to move. And it just rides up on this ramp surface, and it actually pushes the linkage down when you're able to shift. So if your foot is not on the brake, you can't push that linkage down. So we're going to take a look at the 2 cables here. There's one on the left and one on the right. And the one on the right that's covered up by the plastic cover right here, that's where the brake cable goes to. And so when I push my foot on the brake on and off like I'm doing now, you can't see the cable move. So when I'm holding the brake down and I push the button on the shifter, you can see that arm rotate. So we need to see what's underneath that plastic cover right here to see what that brake cable is doing. So now that that cover is removed, you can see where there's a spring right here. And as I press the brake pedal, you can see that there's a piece of plastic right here that's drawn out of the way. That piece of plastic locks into this pivot arm. So when I press the button on the shifter, you can see how that pivot arm has to rotate through. And if this piece of plastic is stuck in there, it's going to bind up the shifter, and I'm not going to be able to press the button. So the first thing you want to do is just take a look at this interaction between that piece of plastic and the rotating arm and see what happens when you actually press on the pedal. Does it draw that piece of plastic back? Does it draw it back all the way, or does it draw it back part of the way? If it doesn't move at all, then you probably have a cable that's completely broken. If it draws it back some but not all the way, then it's either probably just sticky from grime, or some lubrication has been worn away, because if you look at it, there is some white grease underneath it and on this piece of plastic to keep it sliding nice and easy. But I would take a look at this piece of plastic that locks into that pivoting arm, because that's what's going to prevent you from being able to press the button on your shifter.